Hey everyone, welcome to Stand and Empower. In today's segment, I have my special guest, Lizanne. Welcome, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I'll let you introduce yourself, so tell us a little bit about what is it that you do, what are you passionate about?
So my name is Lizanne Gladys Gazzo, and I am a physician assistant. I'm a mom. I'm an artist. Um, that pretty much explains my identity. I think so. But as far as what my passion is, my passions are in what I do for work. So in helping people, very general, but also passionate about art and creating things, and whether it be crafting or painting or whatnot. And I'm also passionate about my family. Having being a mom and having a 14-year-old teenager son, which has been interesting so far. So, but yes.
Okay. Well, what led you to go into the medical profession?
So I think ever since I was a little girl, I think that I've always felt that I wanted to help people. And again, kind of very general, but I was always interested in medicine, the science behind it, how we can help people, get better and things like that. But more specifically, I think that one of the things that I was interested mostly was infectious diseases and these various illnesses that would come out. I was super into Ebola when I was in 7th grade, which is not, usually kids are into other things, but I was into that. So, but into anatomy and medicine and just, I don't know, I started volunteering at a young age at 14 just to get a feel for the hospital. I've seen what medicine can do in helping people, and I've had my own things that I've gone through, and I think that as a whole, that just led me kind of to the medical field in general. So that's been a main. It's definitely part of my identity, and I enjoy what I do. So yeah.
And that's an important job. That's right in the helping profession.
Yeah. I do what I can. I think that the job has changed a lot in the last several years, especially since COVID. But there are a couple of cases that kind of stick out to me that just, kept me going and propelled me to continue doing, medicine and staying within the field. So it's definitely an ever-changing field, but it's been a good experience. So, yeah.
Well, what do you do as part of your self-care?
So self-care, yes. So that's tough. So in working, being full-time at the hospital, I've actually was able to decrease some of my hours. So I'm kind of part full-time. So but one of the big things that I had to learn was actually leaving the job at work. And so kind of mentally, coming home and being present with my family. So doing more family things, or me personally, I think exercise became a big part of doing, just being active and moving and things like that, and clearing your mind. Art came into play with that as well. So actually during COVID, I kind of rediscovered art and painting. I always did it as a child, took classes throughout school and college, but I kind of left it go, especially when I had Ethan, my son. And so, you kind of do these little crafting things, but I didn't do the art that I had done before. So I really actually got back into that. And I've been creating ever since, and that has been a huge help for me. It kind of it really takes you to another place.
Therapeutic.
It's definitely therapeutic. Definitely therapeutic. So that's been, I think, the biggest thing for self-care for me, and just actually scheduling time during my days off, actually, to do things that I like to do, whether it's something simple as getting a pedicure or, floating around the pool or, whatever, but just something to kind of keep me grounded and sane, I would say.
So important.
So, definitely.
So if you are watching, remember this piece. Self-care is very important. It does not matter what field you're in, where you're working at. Even if you are a homemaker, you still need to take time for yourself. Make time, whether it's 10 minutes a day, schedule something on the calendar that is just for you, and don't feel guilty. It's going to be normal to feel guilty at first.
Oh yeah. And I did until I actually started doing it and saw how it helped me and benefited my family, my husband and my son. So,
you get used to it.
Yes, it's definitely very helpful. Yeah.
Especially that piece of, I got to take care of this and that, and, my family, the household,
Absolutely.
like so many moving parts that you put yourself on the bottom of that list.
Yeah. And I think definitely that mentally affects you. And yes, I agree. And it took a long time to not feel guilty about that. But as soon as I started actually making it as part of my schedule, as my task of things to do, it normalized it. And I could see the difference in how I felt. And it just made me realize I have to do that. It's something I have to schedule in,
Yeah.
So yeah.
And your
very
output,
important.
right, towards your family too.
Absolutely. Yep.
You probably saw that outcome.
Yeah. And my husband saw the change too. I think that coming home, sometimes being at work, you are internalizing a lot of the things that are going on there, and then you tend to bring that stuff home, or the emotion home. And, it can come out, you're kind of taking it out on the family, and that's not what you want to do. So I think it's helped with that, and kind of rechanneling, so kind of getting rid of the negative toxic energy, and just, bringing more of the positivity in.
Absolutely.
And so that's been, definitely. So.
Yeah. So for your art, where do you tend to display some of that work?
Oh, the art. So so it's funny I consider art kind of a combination of things. So whether when my son was a toddler, we used to do these little crafts that he would do, and that to me was still artistic. But so now, fast forward to me painting and things like that. My husband loves to display all of my stuff in the house. So he hangs up everything. But I have started painting more, and I have talked to some other artists, and, to get ideas of how I could get myself or put my art out there. And I did start with, there was a contest within, actually, that your sister encouraged me to apply for. So I did, and surprisingly, I was very shocked, but happy, excited. So it was a piece that I did that was very personal to me, that I didn't think anything of. I just did this piece, I finished it, I entered it into the contest, and they picked it, and they ended up displaying it in town, on the wall. And yeah, that was a big deal for me. So that's probably the first time, aside from some art things in college or whatnot where they display for an art show, but this was kind of more of a big deal, because very public. It was on, the websites for the town. It's on the wall. People come here from all over visiting, and are walking through and taking pictures with my painting and things like that. So that's been the main thing. And then I did start, displaying some things like on an Instagram page. My hope is that I can, turn this passion project of mine into more, into a business, but something that I would enjoy to do, for ongoing. So when I get out of medicine eventually, then, this is something I can continue to do. So,
absolutely. That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Now, is that piece of art that you mentioned that's displayed in the town, is that on your Instagram page?
It actually is, yeah.
Okay.
It was one of the first, I think, posts that I did actually on Instagram. And yes, so it is, there is a picture on there.
Okay.
And then some of the following pieces that I've done, I like to experiment. So, it's my art is very unique, I would say. So abstract, but unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Well, don't worry, guys. I will share some information about how to get into her Instagram page, and that way you can take a look at some of her artwork.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Thank you. Well, what are some of the challenges that you've had, and how have you overcome them?
So I think challenges, probably a lot of it stems back down to what I do as a PA at the hospital. I think that COVID was that was one of our very big challenges in the healthcare field. And as a provider, how it changed how patients are seeing providers, and how they see the medical field as a whole. And so that has been a challenge, I think, in trying to have patients kind of trust back into the healthcare field and their provider again. And I love my patients, and I spend a lot of time, explaining things in layman's terms, because I know we can get lost in the medical jargon and stuff like that. And I think that COVID kind of forces you to revisit those things, and how you are and how the relationships are with those patients.
Yeah.
So I think that's made me a better provider. That's been tough, I think, because we're still battling the leftover, emotion from the pandemic.
Yeah.
But it's all good. And I think that, I think one of the things that happened, actually it was a pivotal thing that happened during COVID. I had a patient that was dying. He had COVID, very sick, had other medical issues. And this was at a time when patient family members weren't allowed to come into the hospital. And this gentleman had been in and out of some skilled nursing facilities, hadn't been able to see his family, his wife and son, for months.
Wow.
And it just struck me, and we've been caring for all of these patients, but I had formed this really good bond and relationship with the wife and the son, and I fought for them to come in, and we talked about kind of the isolation procedures as far as gowning, gloving, masking, all of that stuff. And I think one of the things that affected me most then, and just kind of, it just reinforced what I was doing to help people, was I was able to get them to come. They were able to go and spend time with, her husband, his father, and have those last moments before he passed.
Wow.
And it was a very powerful move. And months later, and they were very grateful. I was just happy that I could give that to them because not everybody had that.
True.
And months later, and it was something that they were so grateful for that. But I received a card from them, and it was very, I think I needed that card at that time with all of these things that they were saying, how they called me their angel, and that I provided these last moments for them, that they were it was just this glowing, just these emotions and thoughts that they had placed in this card that they had sent to me. And that was a very rejuvenating thing for me, and reinforcing like the things that I do are important to people.
The why, right?
The why.
Behind
and
it.
I think I needed that. That was one of those things because, just again, with people's perceptions of the medical field, healthcare providers and stuff. And that was a very powerful, it was a very emotional, powerful thing for me. So that just, reinforcing, why I do what I do. So, yeah.
Well, thank you. That was beautiful that you shared that part of your story, because it's not probably the same thing for everybody that's in that field. I can't even imagine what that world was like during that season.
Yeah, it was, it was hard, with patients, their families, my family. Our families were scared of me coming home and bringing this. This was still, and kind of fighting people outside of the hospital that didn't believe the things that were going on. And, but we saw firsthand what was happening in the hospitals, and it was terrible. it was very eye-opening, but it was a lot of fear, and it was tough. That was probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with or experience in the medical profession. And I've been a physician assistant since 2006.
Wow.
So it's been a long time. It's just, but definitely one of the toughest things I've ever had to go through, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's tough coming from the patient's perspective, but also the provider perspective, and very different, but not 100% different.
Yeah.
Like there's, so yeah, that was hard. But yeah.
Well, thank you again for sharing this part of your story.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, who would you say has been your biggest supporter?
So I have, there's a lot of people I have in my corner. I will say that my husband has been the rock for me. I think that I am a Latina, so I get a little crazy. So I think that he's been there for me through everything. There's been a lot of ups and downs, but with work or with my art, he's there, and he is my biggest cheerleader, and just, he will do whatever he can to help make me more successful, or, just help mentally, coming home, and if I had a bad day, like he really is there to help turn that around, or just in every way, all aspects of life. And so I really would say he has been my biggest support. My family as well, and friends, but he's my rock. He's been in my corner. So yeah,
it's good to have people like that in your life.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you again for being here today and taking some time, especially being super busy in the medical profession, working on your art, and taking the time for this interview.
I appreciate you. It's been fun.
Thank you. Well, I do have one final question for you. How do you stand and empower?
oh, how do I stand and empower? I think, for me, I think that means I'm kind of a woman that does it all, I feel like. So just being a mom, being a working mom, but still trying to find that time to incorporate, again, self-care and things like that. So, but I'm a very independent person. I mean, I do I do what it takes to get it done. So I think that, and it's been a long time, but I finally have that confidence to do those things. So I empower myself by self-care. I mean, all of those things help. And yeah, and actually, and my son actually told me today that he thinks that I'm a very empowered woman.
Wow.
So yeah, that was a big deal coming from my 14-year-old.
Especially teenager,
but
yeah.
But I mean, working full, almost full time basically. But having my work life, but being able to take care of myself, take care of my family, and I think those are all things that make me feel like I'm standing and empowering myself.
Absolutely,
So,
yeah. And you're setting an example too, to your son. Right, your spouse, those around you, your coworkers, I bet.
Yeah. I mean, they do. Yeah, they. I work with a lot of younger people, so yeah. So it's been good. I think they do look up to me and some of the other women that I work with that are around my age. That, I think their goals are to kind of have the lives that we have. So
yeah, absolutely. You give them something to aspire to, right?
Yeah.
So before we go, what is the name of your Instagram page?
So it's called Art of Zan. So it's a play on Zen. So Art of Zan, but Zan is actually the part of my first name, Lizanne. So it's Art of, and then Zanne. It's all one word. And so, yeah. So it's kind of the feeling of Zen when you're looking at the pieces of art. At least that's what my hope is, that people get that kind of calming emotion from just looking at these pieces. So.
Okay. Well, thank you again. And I will put her information in the link. So feel free to visit, or if you have any questions and you want to reach out to Lizanne, go ahead and reach out to her. Thank you again for being here and watching this segment at Stand and Empower.